Because when Dan Quinn talks about you today, somebody asked him, like, what kind of scheme do you want to run? How involved are you? He said, this is his world.
Yeah.
I want him to run what he wants to run.
Right.
You don't always get that kind of faith and belief, especially for a first-time DC.
Exactly.
Man, how valuable is that
That was
trust?
huge. That's huge, and that's valuable. And again, that's just a testament of who he is, you know, and the faith and how he believes in people. But yet, not only that, he will continue to be a valuable ear. I'm going to be, you know, picking his brain because he just has a wealth of knowledge. And so for him to have that support and to be there, I mean, it's how can you not be successful?
And that's not only a testament to Dan Quinn and who he is. It's a testament to the work you've put in. Because like I said, you have been a part of every level of football. You have seen so many different defensive schemes. And I know you talked about versatility. How has all of that experience, all the different places, all the different minds you've been able to pick from, how does that make you the perfect man for this job?
Well, you can fix problems. You got to be a problem solver. And there's enough knowledge of various schemes and things that come up that it can help you solve some problems. So you want to be able to solve problems.
And we love that, man. And it seems like a big part of your problem solving is not so much the player, but the person.
Correct.
I listened to your opening press conference, and you talk so much about the player, about the emotion behind it, about the mentality behind it. Where does that come from, and why is that so important?
You know, when I got into coaching because of the relationship that I had with my position coach. And, you know, when you go to HBCUs, it's all about relationships, right? You know, the chance of someone going to the league is slim, and but it's about the relationships. And so you realize that these guys care about you as a person, not just you as a player. And that stuck with me, right? That stuck with me. And so then as I started to coach, and you go from place to place, and you start to develop relationships with different players. And then when I got to Bowie State, I was there really when I was at Generate High School. And those players connected and vibed with them. It was a high school. It was a small rural high school in Generate, Louisiana. But those players really connected and vibed, right? And I realized, man, this relationship thing is real. Like, these players will run through a brick wall for you if they care about you off the field and they feel like you care about them, right? That's giving them a ride home after practice instead of them walking home, whatever it may be. Well, then getting to Bowie State, you know, the resources weren't as great, right? And so you have guys that are, you know, maybe have a meal plan, they're not on full scholarship. And so you have a player be like, Coach, I haven't, you know, like, why are you late? Coach, I was trying to get something to eat, or this guy's losing weight, you know, and I haven't been eating. Then I got to go get you some food. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so,
for sure, man.
And so we would, at Bowie State, every Friday, we would, home games, we would either go over one of my coach's house, Aaron Kitchen, who's from Glen Arden. We would either go over his house and have the defense over there, or, you know, and we would have, you know, his wife would cook, or my family would cook and would bring in food. And that may be the only good meal that a lot of those players were having. But it's about the relationships, right? And so it's no reason why those guys that Saturday would go out and go through the wall for you.
Yeah.
You know, you just fed them. And I mean, but in terms of because they needed to eat, you know,
exactly,
or, you know, they have some issue on campus or they weren't going to class. You know, well, if they're not going to class, rather than run you, I'm going to go to class with you. I'm going to make sure I'm sitting up in there with you just to make sure you go to class and stay to class. So now they're like, man, Coach really care. Like he up in class with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that he want to be, but he's just making sure I'm here. So because at the end of the day, it's about those guys getting a degree. And so it wasn't about the football. It was about them getting a degree. And you use football as a tool to help them get their degree, because without that, they would not have got a degree. So you try to sneak a degree in on them. But it pays off until they get old enough to understand why you were doing what you were doing.
Right.
And so that's where it all stems from. And it just carries over. And so I remember I was not initially looking to go to the NFL because people were saying, the guys in the NFL, it ain't about relationships. It's about the money.
Right.
And that's the biggest misconception. You know, when players figure out at any level that you can help them and you can help extend their career, it's the same. And then the relationship aspect just continue to grow with that. And so when I first got to the league in 2016, we drafted Xavier Howard. And me and X became really close. You know, he's like a little brother to me. And but it was all because of the relationships.